Question? Yes, sir.
I just have a question. I'm a father, and I walk by here, and I'm deeply concerned about this, and I support you all because I think your solutions are reasonable. But I'm disturbed by the fetishization of gun culture. I just found it on my phone. This is an ad, if I may approach. This is an ad by the gun manufacturers, the one that was used in the shooting. I mean, what are you going to do about this gun culture, this fetishization of guns? Some of your colleagues took pictures of campaign literature with guns in their entire family, weapons of war.
Well, the picture the gentleman just showed was put on the web by the manufacturer of the weapon that was used in Uvalde. It's a picture of a toddler, probably 3 or 4 years old, holding an AR-15 style rifle, the same type of rifle used. That is the manufacturer. They are appealing to and generating this, as you say, this gun culture. One thing we can do is to remove their liability protections. If they have to be sensitive to what they're saying about weapons, of disclosing the potential dangers, of designing them so they can't be altered, then we've made a step forward. In the Buffalo shooting, the young man bought a weapon, a semi-automatic assault weapon. But of course, you can, in a matter of minutes, fix that to be fully automatic. And that's what he did. He legally changed it. Now, if gun manufacturers had to consider that, they would design the weapons differently so they could not be altered by anybody looking at a YouTube. That's one thing we do. But we've got to do a lot more. And frankly, the people that are really doing it are right behind me. They're taking this on, and I thank them. Gentlemen, any other comments?
If both sides of the aisle were to unite realistically, how quickly do you think some of these bills could be signed into law?
Fast.
Immediately. In a week.
Let me tell you, let's go back, do a little history. I've been doing this for a while. Under the Clinton administration, we banned assault weapons for 10 years. And it had an effect. The mass shootings where, think if these two 18-year-olds didn't have automatic weapons, they were using bolt action weapons or 3 rounds in the magazine weapon, they would not have harmed as many people. The Republicans under George W. Bush let it lapse. They were under the orders. So they come back a few years later. The NRA's #1 priority is the liability protections for the gun manufacturers. That's what they want to get done. Practically every Republican is a co-sponsor. They're going to get it done. Senator McCain and I passed an amendment closing the gun show loophole late one morning. The Republicans went to lunch. That afternoon they walked out and they all voted against the #1 priority of the NRA because they got a call from the NRA saying, we don't want any restrictions on gun ownership. We'll wait another day. They did, and they finally passed the bill. So this behavior is nothing new, and it's led to this crisis of the moment. And to your answer, if we have 10, 11, 12 Republicans who stand up and say, let's get this done, the bill's to the White House, and it's signed.
Can I just add one thing quickly? As Senator Reed mentioned, the assault weapons ban, when it was in effect, there was a significant decline in mass shootings. Left to expire, as President Biden said just the other day, mass shootings tripled. So we know it works. There's a recent report, again, that shows how effective the assault weapons ban was. It has worked. And by the way, these are very popular policies. Universal background checks, criminal background checks, is supported by 90% of Americans. Red flag laws to keep guns out of the hands of people who are dangerous to themselves or others is supported by 82% of the American people. These are not controversial. The problem is we have Republicans who have become a wholly owned subsidiary of the NRA, and they will not move any of these bills. Think about it. They have a bill to just strengthen criminal background checks that overwhelmingly supported the American people. They're blocking its passage in the Senate. So if there's agreement, These bills can move immediately to the president's desk. What we need is the American people to demand, particularly these Republican senators, to take action, to act in the best interest of their communities and of this country, and pass bills that will reduce gun violence in America. Stand up to the NRA.
Thank you all.
I have a question. So we've been doing these stories for a couple of days. The gun advocates, their response keeps being they want to meet in the middle somewhere. Do you think this is meeting in the middle? Do you think there's room to meet in the middle? What's your response to that?
They have no interest
They have no interest
in meeting in
Go
the
ahead.
middle. In fact, we're the ones who are constantly saying common sense gun safety legislation. And they're the ones who are taking absolutist, extremist, no holds barred positions that the public hates, but that they can get away with because they put enough money into the political system behind Republicans that they've brought them to heel, and they will now do as instructed by the NRA, even while the NRA is under fraud investigation.
And just hearing from
Not that I feel strongly about it.
saying that like mental health is the problem and that
Yeah, well, that's what Governor Abbott said. It turns out that he cut funding to mental health in Texas just a few months ago. So, you know, don't tell me what, show me what you do, not what you say. There is a whole complicated set of issues here. But one thing we know, I think quite clearly, is if we have adequate background checks, if we have red flag laws, if we do not have assault weapons ban, those mentally ill individuals will not have access to killing weapons and use them. So it's in that sense, it's very simple. The other aspect here too is, yeah, again, this is it's all about mental health. But when we try to push legislation to increase funding for mental health, community mental health, who stands up and says, "Oh no, who is against the Affordable Care Act that actually encouraged mental health in poor communities spending?" Our Republican colleagues. So
And there's such a demand for mental health services right now, to Senator Green's point. When they cut mental health services and support, people can't go to the mental health professionals to get the help that they need. That's why we need to double down on mental health support right now.